and welcome to the HCS Analyzer tutorial on cell-by-cell analysis. This is chapter number 3, where we will talk about how to perform cell-by-cell classification. During the two first chapters, we saw how to import and create a database. Then we saw how to visualize the database and how to visualize the data that are coming from a cell-by-cell analysis. And now we will see how to proceed in order to extract information and to perform a classification on cell-by-cell based. So, as you remember, all those wells contain many different cells. So what we need to do first, before starting the analysis, is to select the well that will contain the phenotype of interest. So what we will do is we will move to positive class selection, but you can choose whatever kind of class you want. So we will switch to class display, and we will select one or two well or three, depends of how many well of interest you want, and we will set them as positive. Then after, you will select the tab cell-by-cell analysis, and you will add into this heap all the well of interest. So here, in this case, we selected two positive well. We will move them to this heap by doing that. Once you are satisfied by your selection, you can directly move to the cell-by-cell analysis. You have to pay attention to the descriptors that are selected. All the descriptors that are selected are the descriptors that will be used to perform the classification. So choose well what you need at this stage. Here you have such a window that is appearing where we can display the data regarding the different descriptor of interest. The first step in the classification will to define population, subpopulation. So this can be done by clicking on cluster. As you can see, you have access for the moment to two different options. The first one is automated, based on a classical expectation and maximization algorithm, where you define manually the number of phenotype of interest. Let's take 3. Or you can also click on automated, where the algorithm will automatically identify the number of classes. You have to be careful, because with such an option it can be really time consuming. So we'll keep it this way. There's another option that is descriptor based. It just means that the user can have defined by himself also in the original file a class for each cell of interest. Let's say by example user supervised selection. And then you can use the column, the descriptor that is related to the class to perform the learning step. In this case there is nothing like that, so we'll just keep it this way with automated EM 3 classes. So we start. You have the result that is displayed here. As you can see, it's giving you all the information about the result. And you can see also over there that you have 3 different colors corresponding to the 3 different clusters. If you are satisfied with your result, you just can go to the next step, which is the learning step. Basically, the algorithm will try to learn how to make the difference between those 3 different clusters. This is a tree-based classification, so the learning step is giving us this tree. In this case, this tree is quite complicated, because I guess that the values do not really make sense. And then, once it's done, you can move to the classification. So, as you can see, there is one checkbox that is appearing here. It's just a matter of telling you, do you want to keep all the original descriptor and add new descriptor at the bottom, or do you want to get rid of all of them and keep only the new descriptors that will be computed? So in this case, we will keep all of them. So what will happen is basically every well will be taken, and every cell from each well will be classified regarding the learning process. And in the end, for each well, a new descriptor, or 3, in this case 3 new descriptors, will be computed corresponding to each ratio of cell. I will show you just later, and to be a bit more clear what happened. So the entire screen is processed, and as you can see, we have new descriptors that are appearing. let's close all the window and let's take a look at the result. As you can see, we have 3 new descriptors here, and those 3 new descriptors correspond to the ratio of each cluster of each cell population. This is in percentage, so let's take a look at the value. We just move here, and as you can see, of course, the ratio are just single value. They are not histogram anymore. So there's a real nice way to display those results, to see the different ratio of this population. What you do is you unselect everything and you just select the 3 ratio of interest, and then you move to the pie view. And as you can see, we have a pie representation of all the different subpopulation. So this pie view is automatically updated when you are removing or adding a new descriptor, and it gives you an idea about which cell population is important compared to the others. When you click on display information about it, it displays also this. Okay, so that's it for the cell-by-cell classification tutorial.